Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and the 107th coffee stream. I am your host, Blind Press. Skep will be joining us momentarily. I just started because, unfortunately, we're going to have a short coffee stream today. So I didn't want to wait too long. I know Skep won't mind. But he will be here. Um, and what was I gonna say? Let's just say hi to chat while we're waiting for him. Let's see. Hi, blind girl. Good to see you here. Let's see. Hi, Turk February. Hello, RVA. Let's see. Hi, Rolling Bear. Hi, Gun Fox. Let's see. Who else is here? Oh, and Blake Hanley. Hello. So the reason we have to have a short stupid back. The reason we have to have a short coffee stream is I have to go to the doctor at 12. So my ride is going to be here at 11:30. So we have to go. We're only going to go until about 11:20 this morning. So we'll try to get to as much news as we can. I've seen a couple of Discord gems with topics that I really want to discuss. But there's also a music topic that I wanted to discuss before we started it on the news. And let's see. I wanted to discuss. I hate Discord. Oh, is your Hangouts updating too, Skep? Yeah. See, that's why we started a bit late for me, because my Hangouts had to do another update. I hate it, yeah. Music, yay. No, it's not about a new album. It's just a general topic about what I wanted to, since Skep is in chat, he'll hear what I'm saying. The more I listen to older albums of Rage Against the Machine or Marilyn Manson, the more I think to myself, today's millennials are just spouting ideas that they got from song lyrics that they didn't actually stop and objectively analyze. It was just all subjective, teenage angst that they never let go of and have now plastered into their politics and just it like there are some examples of songs I can think of right off the top of my head that today's millennials must have listened to, and instead of just going, oh, that's a really cool song and here's what it might have, if you actually do some research into the group members of Rage Against the Machine and you understand how politically motivated the lead singer was and still is, you start to understand why he wrote songs like that. instead of coming at it from the angle of, yeah, I hate my fucking life and I hate my fucking parents and rage against them and rah, rah, rah. Like the song Know Your Enemy. Like, the, or the song Killing in the Name of. Or if you're looking at a Marilyn Manson album, the song Use Your Fist and Not Your Mouth. Or, like, it's just, why do people, like, nowadays not just listen to a song and go, that's a really good tune, I really appreciate the musicality of that, and the lyrics are really cool and they do mean something to me personally. However, I really should understand the politics and stuff behind the song and the singer before I just start like regurgitating their ideas as mine, perhaps. Skep, I sent you the link. Check Twitter. I thought Hangouts was updating for you. I just started because I thought you were busy, like you had trouble with your dogs or something. And we had a short time frame, so I didn't want to wait too long. I'm sorry, dude. Here, let me check and make sure Twitter sent it. That's super weird because I hit send. I pasted the link and then I hit send. Come on. Why are you not reopening Twitter? Okay, apparently history is not going to let me open Twitter that way, so let's open Twitter through a new tab. I feel bad now. Holy fuck. I'm sorry, Skep. I feel really shitty now. Um, this is really fucking weird. Okay. I will try again to send you the link. I really apologize for this, my friend. Copy, you ridiculous thing. Jesus Christ. What a terrible host I am. I'm hurt, devastated, really. Sobs. Oh, Scab. No sobbing. I'm sorry, dude. Okay. Okay. Paste. Send. You flippin' ridiculous thing. Okay, there we go. I see it there. Please, please go through.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm sorry.
No worries. I didn't even know anything about. I was teasing you in chat, but that can happen to anybody.
Boomer host moment I put in chat.
Not to worry. Not to worry, my friend. What in the world have you been talking about? Because I've been trying to figure out. You know, I had the window muted, so I haven't heard your monologue so
Okay.
far. So you catch me up.
So my thesis is that today's millennials who are like my age, because unfortunately I have been lumped in with the millennials because I was born in '89.
Yeah, kind of borderline, but okay.
Yeah, but anyone who might be a little bit younger than me who happened to listen to, say, bands like Rage Against the Machine
Yeah.
or, Marilyn Manson, and only subjectively looked at the lyrics through the lens of teenage angst and fuck my parents, fuck my life, and have then applied it to everything in their life, including politics.
Yeah.
And if you look at songs from Rage Against the Machine, like Know Your Enemy, or Freedom, or Killing in the Name of, or songs from Marilyn Manson, like Disposable Teens, or Use Your Fist and Not Your Mouth, or The Beautiful People, even.
Yep. Some nice guitar work by John
Oh,
Five on those, by the way.
beautiful, beautiful guitar. Yeah, see?
I met
That's
him.
what.
I met him one time.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I actually love his banjo lessons that he gives online.
That would be really interesting to listen
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
But if you listened, like, if you only listen to music like that through the subjective lens of my life sucks, and then you apply that to your politics.
Yeah. It's a shit colored filter.
Yeah. And then you start looking at things like the way, like, you start going, yeah, screw the big guy.
Right.
Yeah.
The man.
Screw the man.
Yeah, fuck the man.
AOC.
Yeah, truly. And that's where she comes from. She sees what she thinks is the establishment as something that's a big corrupt conglomeration that she can just dispense with. And she's so clueless. She doesn't realize that cell phone in her pocket wouldn't work except for that conglomeration. The pharmaceuticals she takes, would not exist. The car that she drives, the clothes that she wears, none of that stuff would exist without the man. The man produces all that stuff, and the man is actually a pretty good friend.
Yep.
It irritates me that people don't. That's the biggest problem with millennials is them not realizing how good they have it. Too many of them are just been spoiled, I think.
They look at these musicians who had to, like, because today's musician does not have the same struggle, I think, as the musicians before the internet.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely. That's absolutely true. I agree with you completely.
They will write about the struggle that they went through and the very real, like they were writing songs about, actual discrimination that was going on.
Right. And there was real discrimination going on.
Yes, there was.
And there really were 100 American boys dying every, wait for it, week in Vietnam.
Yeah.
100 a week. We'd listed for the names of the unlucky 100, who got killed in Vietnam. Many, many more crippled, maimed for life, psychological scars out the wazoo.
Well, if you listen to the song One by Metallica, it's a song about a vet who's basically a vegetable.
Yeah. Yep.
like he's physically can't do anything, but his mind is still.
Yeah. Sam Stone, the song by John Prine, that was a reality for many people.
Yeah.
Sam Stone was alone when he popped his last balloon, climbing walls while sitting in a chair. He played his last request in a room that smelled like death with an overdose hovering in the air.
Yeah.
You know, that's
back when
those were
songs told stories.
Yeah, back when songs told stories, and back when there was really something to protest. You know, these guys think Trump is bad. He's evil. I have to laugh. I have to laugh. Nixon was evil. Yeah. Nixon was pure evil. Yeah. Carter was evil. He was a different kind of hateful, introverted evil, whereas Nixon was an acquisitive, controlling monster. You know, Carter was a bitter, introverted, shitty little man. Yeah. But those people were evil politicians. And, you know, when you protested against them, it was meaningful. Mm-hmm. And to hear these guys now saying Trump, you know, Orange Man bad, really? Truly, have you looked at what he does? How much do you know about his policies? And they interview these people, and just one after the other, they don't know anything. Well, I mean, you know, he's just, you know, Orange Man bad. That's all they have. Yeah. Fuck them. You know, the thing of it is, most millennials have never had to overcome anything. They've never had any really relentlessly tough thing that they have overcome or found a way to, you know, live with philosophically. And that build, you know, it does build character. I mean, it's a hackneyed phrase, but character is a thing, and character gets built by tough times, and the tough times last less long than the tough people. The tough people are the ones who outlast it. And building that toughness and that resilience, when you can be resilient and have tough times, engender a toughness that doesn't lose its kindness and its resiliency, then you have crafted, then you've done good soul craft. You've built a good human. And too many of the millennials simply have never been exposed to anything that builds character. I mean, the schools have mollycoddled them all the way through. Yeah. I looked at the way that math is taught. You know, I realize I'm taking over this discussion. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, but I'll shut up in just a second. But just the way that they were teaching math to my granddaughter, I taught her a different way to do long division that cuts the time in half to do it. And they, you know, the kids clustered around her when Bella was showing them the proper way to do long division. And it was like she had superpowers, like she was a math superstar. And it's just something basic that, you know, everybody learned. That I learned, you know,
I learned it too. There's a way to do it in Braille.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but exactly. That's the.
To this day, when I'm doing double-digit multiplication in my head, because even as a blind person, I'm a visual.
I understand.
A visual type person. Like, if I'm gonna read something for entertainment, I'll listen to it.
Yes.
If I have to educate myself on something,
yes,
I need to read it in Braille.
See, people think blind people can't visualize stuff. Yeah. You do visualize stuff.
So when I do something like math, double-digit multiplication in my head,
right?
I've got in my head my Braille typewriter set up with the paper in it,
right?
And I've built the math equation in Braille, right, in my head,
and you execute the operation on it.
Yeah. And sometimes I have to speak it while I'm doing that.
Sure.
But other than that, that's how I do it in my head.
It's, you know, and today's children, because everything is laid out so that the person with an IQ of 70 in the class can do it just as fast as everybody else. That's the way things are taught now. Yep. Especially the sciences and especially math that unless you're in honors or an accelerated course, you're going to learn the stupid math. You're going to learn to do math at the speed of basically the dumbest kid in the class. Sorry, but that's the truth. And they did that out of their motives were good. They wanted dumb kids to be able to do math. The problem was they slowed down an entire generation. They hobbled an entire generation. And the other thing is that the methods that they teach are so cumbersome and counterintuitive that they're hard to remember.
Yeah.
And that's why you get a lot of kids, they get out of high school and 4 or 5 years later, they can't even do simple, multiplication and division problems.
Yeah.
It's staggering, isn't it?
Pincalo and I have run into simple, like we've gone to do cash, like people have, we've paid for stuff, and how much change do I owe you again?
Oh, my Lord, you compute the change for them? And I'll bet you do that in your head, don't you?
Yeah.
What?
Either Pincalo and I will be just like, you owe us this much? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a calculator.
Oh my God.
You can't do simple subtraction? What the fuck is wrong?
I had occasion this morning because of a tweet I wrote to look up the amount of Canadian money that's actually in circulation. It's in banknotes and, the amount of physical money that Canada has in circulation. And it's shockingly small. It's only $64 billion. That's not a lot as countries go.
No, but we don't have a very big population either.
That's true.
That's our
really
size of a country.
Yeah. And you don't have a lot of foreign holding. People don't hold loonies or whatever you call them, Canadian dollars.
No. Because right now, like we even like if I get something like money from my mother-in-law for the boys, right, because she lives in the States, it's almost better to get American money here because when you get $100, say, it's like $130.
So can you just take like a check for $100 American down to the bank and deposit it in your account, and they'll do the conversion?
We don't really get. Yeah, it's like if you get like a card or something, like a gift or something like that,
right?
With some cash or something like that, you go to the bank, and most banks you don't even have to deposit it.
Interesting.
You can just be like, if it's your bank, like if it's your bank, you just walk in and go, "Hey, can you exchange this?"
Oh, okay. I see what you're.
They go, "Sure."
Yeah, if we can screw you on the exchange rate.
Exactly.
Be happy to give you the lowest exchange rate in the last 4 weeks.
Pretty sure. Pretty much.
Problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
But it's still at least $30 more.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, so continue on with your thesis.
Well, that was basically my thesis, was that
millennials are shitheads.
Millennials are shitheads, and they use good music.
Yeah. Yeah.
As the basis for shitty ideas. Yeah,
people. It's funny. People can't believe that I listen to Marilyn Manson, but some of that music is good music, and that's what I'm in it for. I'm in it basically for the guitar.
Yeah.
And Rage Against the Machine, not so much. I've heard some of their stuff. It's a little bit. I don't know. Just the style is not what I'm particularly into.
I love some of the stuff that they do with their guitars. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fast shreddage, but
it's good getting the house clean music.
Yeah, that would be like if I was still a long distance runner. That would be like my psych up music or my running music. I could listen to that. But I think bands like Dream Theater do it better. it's better quality of music than Rage Against the Machine. Just my opinion, just one man's opinion. But that said, they still they have a lot of talent in that band.
So I saw a couple of news things in the Discord.
What's up?
So there's some ISIS bride from Alabama who wants to come home.
She thought she had a plan.
Yeah. And this isn't just an American issue.
Yeah.
We've got some Canadian ones.
Yes.
That want to come back.
Some Brits too. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I have a bit of a okay. So it's a hard thing for me because there are some women who I'm sure were married already before and their husbands defected, basically.
Yeah.
And they were probably already in an abusive relationship with their husbands.
Are you saying Muslim men beat their wives? You're not suggesting that.
I'm just saying.
Or that it's in chapter 5 of the Quran. Just saying.
So I'm thinking that they were either forced. Some women may have been forced over.
Yeah.
But there are also the women who were single who very willingly went over to be a bride for ISIS. Who were.
Yep.
Now, some people will make the argument, oh, well, they were recruited and they were, bamboozled and blah, 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 blah. And it's the same thing as being in an abusive relationship.
Oh, that's a really good parallel.
To me, I don't know if it is, though, because if...
No, I think you're onto something.
Well, is there a difference between being a single lady who's just been, had the wool pulled over her eyes, and a woman who, say, has kids with somebody who says, I'm taking the kids whether you like it or not, and if you ever want to see them again, you'll come with me?
Maybe if you roll it back and look at the kind of woman who willingly steps into a relationship like that, they probably don't know the guy as well as they should before they take the step of, moving in together or getting married or whatever.
True.
And they probably have some problems of their own, some adequacy problems, or maybe it's a situational problem where they come from a broken home, or they need money. They see the guy as a source of support, and he's not that bad, and I'll fix him. All these rationalizations start to come into play. Women always think they can fix men. What is up with that?
I don't know.
We don't fix. We pretty much stay who we are.
They try and do it. I'll fully admit to trying to have fixed my ex-girlfriend too.
Yeah.
So it's not just that we should try to fix men. It's we want to try and fix our partner. It's
right.
If something's wrong with whoever we happen to be dating,
yeah,
and we think we can fix it,
yeah,
we're gonna try. Especially if we're one of those people who, I call it loyal to a fault.
Yes.
Where I'm one of those people who extends their loyalty to somebody probably more than...
Give them way too much credit and way too much trust.
Yeah.
And you get burned, don't you?
I get, yeah. So the thing is that when you've got somebody like that, it's easy for them, unless they've learned from their mistakes and they've learned how to discern unless you learn how to tell who's worthy of your loyalty.
Yes.
You're going to give it to the wrong people.
Couldn't agree with you more. It's just too true.
And learning how to tell who's worthy of your loyalty is a really hard and painful lesson.
You have to have a positive self-concept. If you are down on yourself, you won't make good decisions in the relationship business. You have to have some self-love in order to make good decisions, in my opinion. You know, you have to think enough of yourself to believe that you deserve someone who is worthy of you. And it's easy to go, too far that way. And a lot of people are afraid of going too far the other way and, being snobbish and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or unrealistic. Like so many things, it's that difficult middle channel that you have to, try and aim for. It's hard to hit.
Yeah.
It's hard to get it right every time. Plus, people are dishonest. People will mess with you. I mean, they will flat out sit there and lie to you. It's just not fair, but it happens. I don't know where I was going.
Saying? I'm looking at chat here.
Yeah, yes, chat, because I'm rambling. I don't know. Old people ramble.
Not a single woman regretted their decision to go. The Canadian ones, the American ones, the British ones, they all got their citizenship revoked. Well, then they can stay.
See, and that's
it turns out she has It turns out they had Bangladeshi citizenship.
Sweet.
So they got their citizenship revoked.
What happens to the kids? That's the problem. I almost stopped caring about the parents to a great extent.
Yeah.
They've kind of made their bed, and if they're content to lie in it, I'm good with that too. If they have a sudden case of regret, that's too bad, because unfortunately we can't tell the difference between you and the lady who's going to come up back with dynamite under the niqab and blow up a school. Sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Am I too harsh?
No. Well, it's not the kid's fault, but
the kid bears the consequences, and that's not fair, and it doesn't feel good to me. That's the one thing about the one reservation that I have is how do we care for the children? Because if you go to the parents and you say, look, we'll make a deal with you. We'll send your kids back, give up all claim on them. We'll find a foster home for them and at least save them from the bullshit mistake that you've made with your life. About 1% of them are going to take you up on that. So that's not a realistic solution.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can think of to do. You can't invite them back into your country because they're a poisonous snake. And snakes are gonna snake. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of life's tough shit moments. But I still feel terrible for them. I mean, my heart breaks for those people.
Yeah, RVA says kids don't get to choose their parents, and it sucks. Yeah.
Word up.
Agreed.
That is the truth. So. What else do you have in news items?
Let's see here. I'm gonna pop over into the Discord because I saw a couple of things that popped out at me. Let's see. What was the other thing that I saw here?
Did you happen to see the story that was going around about the the female penis?
No.
Some trans model came out and said that when a female has a penis, that is a biologically female penis.
Oh shit! My ride is calling me for my doctor's appointment. I'm gonna mute and answer.
Absolutely, I'll rattle on here. So, yeah, it just kind of shows you how strange and crazy the debate about trans people and what the nomenclature is going to be going forward to talk with people. It's a very strange time. Some very strange stuff in the press. I hope that we're getting to a point where people are going to say, all right, we're going to call a halt to this and come to some kind of consensus, and we can move on and stop talking about it, or some part of that problem anyway.
A biologically female penis.
A biological female penis. And it's one of these things where sex and gender have started to lose any meaning at all. If you imagine someone, because the thing is, if somebody can change their gender or change what she's basically saying is, you're not changing your gender, you're changing your biological sex. And so women can have female penises, and they are biological female penises, and you have to call them that. Okay, this is them controlling us. So you say, okay, all right. So it's okay to make that change. And can you change back? Absolutely. You can recant your decision and decide you have them, and then it becomes a biologically male penis. Okay. How often are you permitted to make that choice? Well, there's no restriction on that because we don't want any restrictions on anything. Okay. So you could change your biological sex from male to female and back, say, on a revolving thing every 1 second. Okay. So when you go to a doctor, do you just stop it suddenly and whatever's up, male or female, that's what you tell the doctor you are? And then do you tell the doctor that you have a female penis, a biologically female penis, so that they will know how to treat you? I mean, the problem is that sex and gender start to lose their meaning when we bend them into all these twisty ways to conform to whatever whim a perceived, rights challenged or victim group decides they want to have at the moment. That's bullshit.
That's supreme bullshit. Holy fuck.
So anyway, I just sort of wanted to pass that out as a padding item,
Speaking of supreme bullshit, you know how we were just talking about sending the kids back without the parents?
Yeah.
So there's a UK lawyer who's making the case that there's the Shannon, whatever her name is, that wants to come back to the UK.
Yeah.
That her baby can't possibly live without her. So by default, she may be able to get her citizenship back because of the child.
Big mistake. And the child can live without the mother. Trust me. Happens all the time.
So she still has the right to appeal the revocation of her citizenship.
Yeah.
And they may give her more than the requisite 28 days to do so.
Interesting. There are no rules anymore. If you're on the victim oppression stack, there just are no rules anymore. They make shit up as they go along. Gunfox says my rage level is rising. I hear you, Gunny. Totally hear you. It's just so nutty. Chadwick says the U.S. has loopholes about immigration, just like that if a pregnant woman comes here and gives birth, the child is a citizen and she cannot be sent back until the child is 18. And that's a great point. One of the things that Trump has come out and said is that he's against the idea of, they call those anchor babies. And he's against that idea. But how do you police that? How do you decide what's an anchor baby and what's not an anchor baby? And you have different rules for oppression stack. So if a lesbian gives birth to an anchor baby, we'll allow that because you're a lesbian.
Right.
But if you were a cis white male, no, we don't want any more of those.
Well, that was the supposed way of the refugees being brought into Canada when we had that huge influx of Syria.
Yes.
They were supposed to be bringing in women, children, and gay men.
Right. And that's all that came in. It wasn't like they were all young men.
Yeah. No,
young
of course
regular, rapists. Rapers. Rapists or rapers? Sorry. I've just about lost my patience with the whole refugee thing.
Yeah.
These people like, Angela Merkel, for example, and Macron, they had no consideration for how the influx of these people with wildly different senses of what cultural norms are going to have on their population.
Yeah.
And now they're rioting in the streets. France almost looks like it's headed for a civil war. I don't think they'll go that far because the French military will be too efficient and ruthless in putting it down. But I think some people are going to die.
So here's an interesting thing. There's an article here that's talking about if you have anything like if you're like a teacher, volunteer, parent, apparently, under Senate Bill 1475,
Okay.
which Senator David Livingston has put forward. DNA must be collected from anyone who has to be fingerprinted by the state or applying for a job.
Let me ask you a question. If you have no objection to fingerprinting, should you have any objection to having your DNA taken, since both are used for identification?
I would say no, because they're both pretty much the same. Well, DNA is not the same thing as a fingerprint, but
DNA tells more information about you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having them know about whether or not you carry the gene for certain diseases or defects or the tendencies, or that your DNA comes from a certain part of the world in different proportions? How do you feel about the state knowing that? Is that a problem for you, or are you okay with that? Because I don't have a good answer to that.
That is disconcerting. That could be used against people. It could be sold to the wrong people. There's a whole host of things that are not happy thoughts that occur to me that could happen with your DNA.
Oh, share some. I like not happy thoughts.
Let's see. The theft of DNA and the use to clone either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Play. It would be the perfect if you got someone unscrupulous person to sell DNA records. That would be the perfect way to build and play with genes without dealing with those pesky, like, say, animal rights people. Because you've got DNA from somebody already, so you don't have to take it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go and deal with applying for human trials or animal trials because you've gotten some unscrupulous contact who is giving you DNA. And you can make a lot of things with DNA.
You could make another you.
Yep, you can, and then you can start doing all of the fun genetic things that you may want to do.
Yes.
You can start editing genes, and what would happen if you took this gene away? What happens if you take the gene that, says that you're prone to a certain cancer?
Right.
What will that do? What happens if you take the gene for what happens if you start fucking with the genes for hair and eye color, for example? Does it fuck with other things?
And it does.
Oh,
it always seems to.
Of course. Because everything is connected and we don't know exactly what does what.
It's a fertile area for speculation. I tend to, and I think Gunfox would probably agree with me, that I tend to be very conservative about letting the state have information about me. I don't even particularly want them to have my fingerprints. Although since I was in the military, they got my fingerprints. Then you have to give those up to being served in the United States military. But beyond that, the state. What is the state's interest in being able to absolutely positively identify you by DNA or by fingerprints? And unfortunately, the state does have interests in that regard in terms of enforcing the law, being able to identify you, being able to process civil statutes. Civil procedure requires that somebody be identified absolutely in order to have service of a court order, a court document process on them. So that's Fourth Amendment is generally Gunfox is pointing out. Fourth Amendment is the fountain of the privacy rights in the United States, and basically. Fourth Amendment is protection against search and seizure. I'm not Googling this is off the top of my head, so don't sue me if I get it wrong, but it's basically against unreasonable search and seizure. And that has been interpreted by courts to imply necessarily a right to privacy. What is the basis of prohibiting unreasonable search and seizure? Well, that there is this thing, a right of privacy that citizens have, and it's a really stout part of American jurisprudence. There's a lot of case law that supports the right of privacy. The courts have loved that throughout the years. And just one of the few things that really has not changed since the early 19th century. And as a result, privacy is pretty deeply protected in the United States. And so, but the interesting thing that has happened is, even in the government, there have been illegal information gathering activities, all over the place, and that's a bad thing. But how do you police the government? That's a very difficult thing. Americans have not solved that very well. We do it better than most countries, but that's not to say we do it well. Anyway, I don't know what that.
Pink Hollow just said, I swear the next fucking shirt I want is going to say sign on the fucking X.
Is Pink Hollow driving today?
Yes.
Is he going?
I don't know how many times I've been on the phone with him. Sign here, please. Where? The red X. Where?
The gigantic red X.
Right here on the red X. Where? I can't see it. I'm just sitting there going, oh my God. No, I can't see it. And I would probably be signing on the fucking X right now.
Right. Oh my. People are, that's another thing is that I notice is that especially the millennials, unfortunately, there's an amazing intellectual laziness
Yeah.
and lack of ambition.
It's true.
You ask them, have they, read any great literature? No, it's boring. Really? Seriously? If you listen to any great music, anything other than, the trash that passes for popular hip hop today. Why? Well, it's great music. It's where all music comes from.
No, it's old.
Yeah, it's old. Nobody develops anything more than superficial tastes anymore, and then they find that not satisfactory. It's not satisfying in the long haul.
Yeah,
and there's a reason for that. Superficiality breeds more superficiality.
Like when I was a kid, I didn't like Johnny Cash or Elvis or whatever.
Right.
But when I grew up, like I still don't love Elvis, but I can appreciate. I can appreciate a few of his songs. Yeah. I love Johnny Cash.
Elvis has had a very, very beautiful tenor voice. He had a beautiful voice, and some of his slow ballads are just absolutely beautiful to listen to. But you have to like that music, in the first place. Johnny Cash, Johnny Cash had a big, strong voice, very strong voice, and he had a high degree of rhythm to his songs. A lot of that ding, 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 that it gets you moving. It gets you, it's very upbeat, and so yeah, I like both of those guys. Elvis is not one of my favorites either. And what I like of his is not the typical stuff that everybody else likes.
Yeah,
you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Ho hum. I don't care for that bit. But Kentucky Rain, oh my God. Oh, listen to that song sometime. It's a beautiful song. First of all, it's just a beautifully written song, and the way he sings it is awesome. So that's what I like. Of course, I like Pink Floyd. So,
well, Pink Floyd is awesome.
Well, thank you for saying that. I'm glad you like Pink Floyd. I've said I like Pink Floyd, and people have looked at me and they either say, "Who is Pink Floyd?" or that stuff, old dumb stuff. Okay, whatever.
My whole family is appreciative of Pink Floyd. We are the family that when the toddlers won't eat their food at Sunday dinner, we all go, "If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding."
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? I love that. That's wonderful.
That's our family. I grew up when I was a kid. I was in my crib. My mom and my uncle were playing Dead Kennedy, Dead Kennedys, the Ramones. Stuff like that. Forgotten Rebels.
Sure, Talking Heads. I mean,
Talking Heads. Yeah,
great stuff.
And that's why. And we did the same thing with our kids. We just played our music. All of these moms that I talk to, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sick of this song. I'm so sick of these kids' songs." And I'm like, haha. My kids hate that stuff.
I was up training for, I guess it was about 1979, 1980. I was up for a training deal when I was working for Pfizer. And a bunch of guys said, "Hey, we're heading down this dive to hear this band." And I said, "What's the name of the place?" It's a hole in the wall, music cabaret. It's called CBGB's. And I said, "Oh." In the house band, they call themselves the Ramones. I could have gone to CBGB's and heard the Ramones before they were huge.
Oh.
And I said, "Nah, It sounds like the place where you get knifed, and that was back when New York was a scary place. That was before Giuliani put a cop on every corner. That was back when and people did get knifed in CBGBs.
I believe it.
So anyway, and of course the Ramones were followed there as the house band by the Talking Heads at CBGBs. So yeah,
that would have been cool. Too bad you didn't go.
I really wish I'd gone. That it's interesting that I talked with. I only really knew one of the guys who went well, and he said, I got so drunk I can hardly remember anything that happened. But at least he was there. We're pretty hard drinking back then, but anyway, yeah, that would have been fun to. RVA says ska-punk is my running music, and I've heard of them. I don't know anything about them. I probably need to discover them. I need some good motivational music sometime.
Oh, ska punk. Ska punk.
Ska punk. Ska punk.
They're different. Ska punk is like it's punk with big band influence.
With big band influence?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I've got.
You have to have an acquired taste.
I'm writing that one down. Goes in the.
Pinkalo really likes bands like Real Big Fish, the Aquabats, and honestly, it's not my type of music. It's It's interesting to say the least. It's very still. Some of it's very silly. But it's usually very no doubt.
Blind, I have to get up for a minute and go answer the door.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go to chat soon because
I'm gonna mute myself. Okay. Right. I'll be right back.
No Doubt is also another ska punk. They were more popular. Punk with arms. You've never heard of it? No Doubt, yeah. No Doubt in their heyday was a popular one of the only popular ska punk bands. But if you look up bands like Real Big Fish or the Aquabats, they've usually got a lot of like trombones and trumpets and saxophones and stuff playing in the background. It's usually very fast-paced music. And of course, you've got the electric guitar and all that fun stuff. It's a very interesting sound. It's essentially a fusion of reggae and punk. Yeah. I would not have called No Doubt punk music. It was pop punk. Hello.
Hey, you're talking about No Doubt?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, No Doubt was pop punk. Bubblegum punk, I guess.
Bubble punk.
You would call it. So yeah, I'm gonna switch to chat time because I'm gonna have to end it around 11:20 because my ride is gonna be here around 11:30.
Alrighty.
And I'm going off to the doctor.
Well, let's see what chat has for us as I go back up through here. Let's see. Pink Owl says, we understand we have lots of old slasher bars up around here. This used to be a huge area for Hell's Angels and Satan's Choice, especially in the 80s. Yeah, so there are some there's some nasty places, I guess, up there. Blind Girl calls out Rancid, the group Rancid. Yes, Rancid, and there were many groups that kind of were Rancid clones, in my opinion. Out of there. Yeah, Chadwick said that I would have called No Doubt pop music. Interesting. Tsunami Bomb rules, says Turk February.
That's one I've never heard of.
Never heard of them either. And Pincalo says it's ska-punk. It's a genre that it takes ska music and mixes it with punk rock bands like Real Big Fish. Okay, have to check that out. I really do not know that genre of music at all. Sounds interesting. Chadwick says, I didn't know they broke punks down into different groups like that. Sora Luna says, I'm the only one in the office on time this morning. Don't leave me. Just kidding. Hope you're feeling better, Blind Press.
I am, yes. I'm going to the doctor to get an official pregnancy test done.
Yeah. How have you been doing? Seriously, are you functioning okay?
I'm all right. I'm in a lot of pain today from my back. I'm having a lot of sciatic nerve problems today.
Oh, down the back of your legs.
Right now it's sticking to my lower back, but it's all spasms.
Yes.
It's probably going to go down my legs soon if it keeps up today. It does do that sometimes.
Yep.
And I've been pretty stressed out and nervous because, if I am, but the timing is not ideal. We already did two babies in diapers, and we didn't want to do that again.
Yes. It's a bear.
We wanted to be a little bit more, financially good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it turns out I am, it is what it is, and baby's gonna get lots of love and
hooray,
all that, but it's very stressful.
Yeah, it is.
It was not an expected thing.
Not well, but it is. It is now.
Yeah.
And it will be welcomed. That's what I love. And the other thing is just from, kind of a Darwin 50,000-foot level, I'm really happy when I hear about people like you and Pincalo breeding. It gives me hope for the human race.
Well, yeah,
I want more Pincalos and I want more Blind Presses.
We refuse to, we refuse to bubble wrap our kids. We don't speak to them like we've never used baby talk.
No reason to.
We speak to our children, properly.
If you use baby talk, they'll learn baby talk.
Yeah, they won't speak right.
Right, exactly. So let's see what else is going on. Still some back and forth about old school punk and pop punk and ska punk and so forth. They're all talking about different genres. Chadwick Dupree says experts say don't rush your kids out of diapers, but that's what I did in the last two, and with my last two, and now none of my kids are in diapers, and they haven't been for a long time. Every kid is preferred with diapers. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Logan's going to be ready probably by April when he turns 2. But he's the younger one, and he sees it, he sees his brother doing it, right? Yeah. So it'll probably be easier to get him potty trained.
Here's hoping. He's a boy. You never know with boys. Girls seem to potty train a lot easier than boys. At least that's
my sister and I apparently. My sister was really easy, and apparently so was I.
Yeah.
Hello.
No Doubt is not ska punk. They are just ska.
Okay, fine.
God. Okay. Right. And Aquabats are not ska punk either. They are what are called nerdcore.
Did you just come home just to say that?
No, I got beat.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
That's a man devoted to correct classification of music genre.
No, that's his genre. He loves that genre of music. Like,
okay,
that genre. Yeah, that's like, for me. I love my, I guess you would call it new metal, because of when I grew up.
Give me some examples of groups that you like.
I will go from Disturbed to Rob Zombie to
Okay. You know, John 5 is Rob Zombie's guitarist now.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew.
I also liked Drowning Pool before the original singer killed himself.
Killed himself, right? Yeah.
I like Pantera. I like
you like
Slayer.
Pantera? Excellent. And Slayer?
I like let's see, what else? Korn. Like old Korn.
Yeah, Korn got weird.
Like Korn from 2000.
Yeah, that Korn is okay.
But... old Limp Bizkit from like 99, 2000.
I remember them. I was them at an age.
I like, and then I go to more alternative stuff like Nickelback, Theory of a Dead Man, Our Lady Peace.
So you're one of the 5 people who like Nickelback?
I am, yes.
You know, I said on a stream that I thought Nickelback's musicians were more than competent, that they were actually pretty talented and good at. I got so much shit for that, it wasn't even funny. Everybody loves to hate on Nickelback.
They do like to hate on Nickelback. But
I'm sorry, I've been playing the guitar for a long time. I know good guitarists and I know good musicians. I just do. I don't know much, but I know that, and they're quite competent musicians.
They worked their asses off to get where they are. Like, I have a lot of respect for them. They built their own record label. They're
Sora Luna's with us. Sora Luna likes Nickelback.
Yeah. And then I also like stuff like Rammstein.
Rammstein?
Yeah, I love Rammstein.
Yeah.
You get into stuff like the Cramps. Just I've grown Offspring. I like the Offspring. There's I just have a whole bunch of.
Blind girl likes Def Leppard, and she likes something else that she.
9 Inch Nails is a.
Ed Leppard.
I like old 9 Inch Nails, like from the 90s.
Yes, yeah, the original 9 Inch Nails, maybe. But everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. When I was, just how old I am, the first time I heard the Grateful Dead, I thought, this is an overrated band. They're not that good. I went to a concert in Berkeley and heard the Dead, and David Crosby was there, and he walked on and played part of a set with them, and I just thought, man, Garcia is not that great a guitarist.
No.
And Bob Weir is not that great a rhythm guitarist, nor is he a great singer. And the attractiveness of the band was basically the party atmosphere and making sure you were really, really stoned.
Yeah.
The music got better if you were stoned. You could listen to Jerry's noodling around the guitar, basically playing scales up and down, and with a little more equanimity. But
oh shit, my grandmother's here apparently.
In chat?
No.
Oh.
No, Pincolo said.
One press, go open the door. Your grandmother's there. She's not going to knock hard.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right,
and then we're gonna end.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Anyway, the Arabs hate AC/DC. A few other. Yeah, I can imagine that a devout Muslim is probably not going to like an awful lot of metal and punk bands because they tend to be not too respectful of religions. Can we say that? And Arva says, still think Grateful Dead was not great. I agree. I agree that they were not great. They were largely a mediocre band. They had actually a couple of, the best musician in the band was their bass player, and that's not a good sign unless you're the Who. But let's see, what else are people saying? Everybody.
Okay.
Pinkala says everybody secretly likes Nickelback. Nobody knows why they're hated, not even them. Yeah, maybe it's something endemic to the name, but anyway.
But I
know you gotta go,
up, guys. So thanks for coming out and listening to us. And
thanks for having me on. It was
yeah,
fun.
I'm sorry about the snafu earlier.
No worries. We get through it.
I will be on Minions tonight.
Yay!
So everybody come watch Minions of the Zoo tonight at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central. And I'll be back here tomorrow morning with another edition of the Coffee Stream. Thanks for coming out, guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Be careful out there, kids.